To be honest, so far this is the happiest day I've had of the Trump administration. I'm sure there are happier ones on the way, but this is a pretty good one with the decision by Paulie. Hey, boss, did you hear Paulie's going to flip, man? No, he ain't. Yeah, yeah, really. Paulie's flipping. Who thought Paulie would flip? We're in deep shit now, boss. Maybe a truck will hit him, eh? All right, boss, but Paulie flipping? Wow. Manafort decides to cut a deal. He pleads guilty. You know what's interesting? Usually, prosecutors get convictions in most of their cases, but this guy, Manafort's the first guy I've seen who gets a guilty plea in all of his cases. Oh, God damn. Yeah. So Paulie decided, Donald Trump ain't gonna pardon me. That's bullshit. Who'd I hear today on MSNBC? I think it was Ari Berman or some of the guests he had on this afternoon. And they were pointing out the obvious that Manafort took a look at everything that has happened in his life since he decided to become Trump's volunteer campaign manager, which was a hiding place. It was a hiding place for Manafort. It was a place where he could finish making his deals connecting Russian money with the Trump gangsters. And that includes especially those shitty children of his and that son-in-law. Boy, wait till the hammer comes down on them. I think they're next. But Manafort took a look at that, I think, and he thought to himself, who do I trust? Do I trust Trump to get me a pardon? What if Trump keels over with a fat attack, a heart attack? What if he gets impeached? What if? On the other hand, should I trust Mueller, who has shown to the world that he is about the straightest shooter? He makes Ken Starr look like the piece of shit that Ken Starr was, is, and always will be. So I think Manafort gave it about, a couple of weeks of consideration. Remember, he spent some time in a jail cell after he tried unsuccessfully at witness tampering, which would have gotten him even more time when the sentencing finally occurred. But I think he spent some time in a jail cell someplace and realized his tens of millions of dollars and all his connections were now useless. They weren't going to do shit for him. And in fact, at his age, what is he, in his early 60s, middle 60s? At his age, with the time he was facing, that was it, man. Look around your cell, Paulie. Not this one. This is just your holding cell, Paulie. But now think for a minute, Paulie. You're going to be in a prison. No more nice big steak dinners and shit. No more traveling around the world, Paulie. No more chicks. And no more watching your kids. Did you know Manafort's daughter asked it would be okay if she changed her name? No, that's for real. That's for real. So I think old Paulie took a look at the reality he was facing and just came to the conclusion that Trump was about as trustworthy as Jack the fucking Ripper. With Trump, Energy flows one way from whoever he's attached himself to him. Nothing comes back. He doesn't give shit back. Nothing. And if anybody should know that, Manafort and the rest of these swine are starting to figure it out. Just like poor old Michael Cohen. What? Oh, boy, did he get his nuts caught in a vice, didn't he? Huh? Michael Cohen? His fixer man for years and years and years. And then Trump turns on him like the snake he is. And Manafort was aware of that. Manafort saw what happened to Michael Cohen. And I'm sure Paulie took a look at that and he said, you know, the boss is going to be pissed off, but, what am I going to do? Now, seriously, I really do believe that Manafort, well, he's going to serve prison time, and that's going to be pretty dangerous. Because if he survives until his sentencing, which he may not, if he survives until his sentencing, I'm sure there are hundreds of prisoners in the federal penal system who, when contacted, as they will be, by the GRU, the Russian military intelligence agency, to waste Manafort, that one of these prisoners, or 2 or 10 of them, will say, how much? And when a price is settled on, Manafort will, one day, as he's walking down the prison corridor on his way to, the library, all of a sudden he'll go into convulsions and he'll foam at the mouth, and then his body will go rigid and he will die. And when an autopsy is conducted, surprise, surprise, some sort of nerve agent was on his neck. How the fuck did that happen? And then they will do an analysis of the nerve agent, and they will find that it's a type of nerve agent that is only produced in Russia. That's if he makes it to prison. A secondary scenario, and both of these are entirely possible because Manafort knows everything. He does. Manafort has been dancing around with Ukrainians and Russians and really evil fuckers in situations where Manafort's life was in danger. He was fucking with people who, had they thought that their idea, their project, their scam, whatever it was, would be advanced 1 inch by killing that fucker, they would have killed him. No, seriously, that's what the Russian mafia and the Ukrainian mafia and the Chechnya mafia and the Kazakhstan mafia, that's just how they operate. Life to them is very, very temporary situation, unless it's theirs. But Manafort was dealing with all of those people. And he was making a lot of money. And then they came looking for him because, what was the one guy's name? I forget. There's so many Russians involved in this. It's just fucking amazing. But they came looking to collect their money. And Manafort had conveniently disappeared. So he got a couple of phone calls and text messages. And it was right around that time he wound up working for Trump. Great protection. Hey, I'll come work for you. Free! Just fucking hire me. And once he got into that position, well then, the ball game changed. Yours 20 million is no big deal, Paulie. Forget 20 million. We have much bigger deals in mind, Paulie. Your President Trump, he will be president. We will make sure of that, Paulie. We have much bigger things for you. You need money? How much? 100 million. 500 million. Just tell us. Now, this shit went on. I can sit here and play the fucking clown all night. This is what happened. And this is what Mueller is discovering. And Trump was in this up to his fucking eyeballs. If there was justice, when all of this finally unfolds, when the last trial is over, Trump should be put in prison for whatever few years he has left, along with his fucked up sons and his son-in-law. That's where they belong. This is a criminal enterprise that made George Bush and Dick Cheney look like shoplifters. This fucking Trump and his organization were willing and did sell out the whole fucking country. The Constitution, the country, oaths of office, 330 million people. He sold us all out to the Russians for the Russian money. This fucking president knew what was going on. He knew from the beginning. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. You have your choice. You can listen to the ranting with the audio podcast or listen and watch me lose control with a video podcast subscription. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.